Now, in its bid to fight climate change, Africa's first ever climate summit kicked off in the Kenyan capital. The Kenyan president said that Africa had an unparalleled opportunity to benefit from the fight against global warming, but stressed on the fact that the continent, with a population of over 1 billion, needs massive investment to unlock that potential. The three-day event in Nairobi is billed to bring leaders from the 54-nation continent to define a shared vision of Africa's green development. As Kenyan President William Ruto opened the summit, hundreds of millions of dollars was pledged for the initiative to boost Africa's carbon credit production by 19-fold.
For a very long time, we have looked.
Former United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon visited Mukuru community in Nairobi's industrial district to learn about the people's adaptation plan. This initiative deals with issues such as water waste management.
Climate crisis has affected all the places, but mostly it was people like yourselves which hit hardest. Climate phenomena may be a global crisis, but the impact is felt locally by people like yourselves. That's not fair.
Climate issue cannot be handled by only one country or one organization, including the United Nations. All should put their hands on the deck together.
While addressing the African Union Climate Summit, U.S. climate envoy John Kerry said climate change is one of the most dangerous issues in all of human history. He added that climate change is impacting Africa and other low-lying nations more in comparison to others.
Of 20 countries most affected by the climate crisis, 17 are here in Africa. And so getting this right is perhaps even more meaningful to people who are not responsible for the crisis itself. And I want to make clear to everyone here that President Biden and those of us in the United States are particularly sensitive to this. It is impossible to have a just transition, which you hear from the mouths of public people all the time. It is impossible to have that just transition if there's no justice in what is happening on a daily basis to the lives of people most affected by the crisis.
As the continent's climate summit began, hundreds of protesters took to the streets of the Kenyan capital to demand action on climate change.
We want renewable energy now. We want sustainable energy in Africa now. Africa is capable of clean energy and driving sustainable change towards a better future. We want the Africa Climate Summit to advocate and to develop policies that only push for clean energy and in the interest of Africans, not the West or the East. Africa and climate justice now.